After 15 seasons behind the bench, general manager of Mississauga Steelheads, James Boyd, will now strictly focus on just that general manager role. James, heading into this season, what sort of adjustments do you have to make focusing on just the GM role?
Well, I think it's going to be a different schedule. It's certainly not less work, but it's going to be a different schedule. Out scouting a lot more games, getting a lot more looks at teams within our league for trade, especially early on in the season. And then focusing on the minor midgets as the season goes along for the OHL draft. I'm excited about that part and getting a better handle on, especially the OHL draft and learning about that age group. But there's going to be adjustments. Exactly what they are, I'm not sure yet. I'll be able to tell you at the end of the season. I've been behind the bench for more than 15 years, so it's definitely a transition I'm looking forward to.
Why is this the right time for the organization to have you focused on being a GM rather than both the GM and coach dual role?
Well, I think that the way that the league has evolved, there's a lot of great stuff going on in the league as far as player safety and education, but there's a greater time requirement from the staff as well. And I think we've seen that around the league when teams shift away from the sole role of general manager and head coach to the dual role. And I think that more and more it's becoming a recruitment league. We draft players, and then it's up to us to convince the families that we're doing an excellent job and we're going to take care of their kids. And often that requires meeting with the players and the parents over the course of the year, throughout their OHL career. And a lot of teams are having success, with players coming in later on in their career. So I think we can do a much better job of selling our program. We got a great thing going on here. We got to continue to draft well and educate those families that Mississauga's the place to be.
James Richmond, Jeff Krzakis, and Jamie Caruso, your other bench bosses, what can be said about them?
Well, James Richmond, familiar with him. I've known JR for years and years, going back to his start in Tier 2, and we have a number of mutual friends, and we were thrilled when he came in last year, decided to come to the OHL and join our staff, and it became evident early on that he's an excellent coach. And of course the two-time coach of the year in the Tier 2 loop with his Aurora Tigers. So right away I said this guy's a head coach, and he's going to be a head coach somewhere, within the next couple of years. So if you've got someone in-house that you think is going to do an excellent job as a head coach, being able to promote from within is always ideal. And then Jamie Caruso, I got to know from our old playing days in the OHL. We're kind of ships in the night there, but then he got involved with coaching. He coached the Mississauga Rebels midgets here, who played in our building. He did an excellent job there, and then on to Orangeville, where he's done a phenomenal job in Tier 2. So his work speaks for itself, and his hockey knowledge and his reputation in the community is sound. And Jeff Krzakis I've known for years as well. He's someone who's trained in our facility and got to know during his pro career. I knew him as a player, as a hardworking guy, popular with his teammates, and I got to know him last year when he was coaching in the minor midget loop with the Toronto Red Wings. So there's a couple of things with Jeff. He knows the age group, the players that are coming in. He knows the kids. He knows how they respond, and like I said, he's got a great reputation being a people person. So both those guys bring a great level of enthusiasm that has already started here, and they're excited, and I think that means a lot.
A busy offseason for the Steelheads. Before we get into specifics, what were your goals out of last season?
Well, I think the first goal was to, improve the hockey club in any way that we can. So we're focusing on our prospects and getting some of those prospects into the fold. And then we had the opportunity to make some key acquisitions in the import draft, Jacob Movar and Vili Sarjarvi through trade with Flynn, which was a significant trade where he gave up an excellent player and a great person in Everett Clark. But defense, we're of the belief that defense wins championships, and Vili's one of the top defenders in his age group, and a World Junior player, a gold medal winner, and at that tournament. So I think that we've improved the hockey club in a number of ways. The acquisition of free agent Jeremy Goodwin, who we think is going to be an excellent player, getting some of our draft picks into the fold, and developing some of the players that exist within our system. So I think we're in good shape going into the season, and we're thrilled with the guys that we got.
Joseph Merdaka and Jacob Ingham will now be dealing with Ryan Daniels as their new goalie coach. He was the video coach last season and a former OHL goaltender. So what part of his game does he bring to these two young netminders?
Much more. He really knows the game, and he's another people person that has been the goalie coach of the Lakeshore Patriots, who won a championship in the OHL 2 years ago. And he knows a lot about the game, but he relates really well to the players. So he worked with Corey Cooper last year, training our goaltenders. And Corey, was offered a position with the Ottawa Senators earlier this summer. So through graduation, it's just a natural progression that Ryan takes over that key position with us, and he's already got an existing relationship with the goalies and with the players on the team, so it's a natural fit.
Switching gears a little bit, why is Michael McLeod the right guy for the captaincy?
Because I think that Mike McLeod, just being Mike McLeod, exhibits all the leadership qualities that we value around here. His hard work and fearless attitude, and his respect that he shows to his teammates. And Mike doesn't have to change anything. He's just got to keep coming to the rink and doing whatever he does every day. And so there's no pretending there. And I think it's just a natural no-brainer.
Watching Mike, Nate, Alex, Sean, and Austin all get drafted earlier on in June, what did that mean to you?
Well, I'm just happy for them. Every kid on our team works so hard. We're so demanding, and it's not easy to be an OHL player and put in the work. So when players are rewarded by being drafted, I'm just happy for the players, because you see that work. You see the joy in their face, and they're being rewarded, and so it's nice accolades for them.
Well, it's also a testament of your coaching as well, but what does it mean to the organization to have these guys in the spotlight?
Well, I think that it validates what you're doing to a certain extent. I think you have to draft well in order to have players that are recognized by NHL teams. I think that our fans recognize those players right from the start of the season, and I think our Steelheads fans really appreciate those guys. But maybe it creates a little bit of broader appeal for our team in the community here when they're reading the key publications that are praising our development. So it means a lot for our team that we're moving in the right direction.
The past few seasons, Steelheads fans have been treated to a dramatic entrance into the season, whether it's a goaltender landed on the home opener or an overage or impact player added to the roster. What can they expect this season?
We'll see what the season brings. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of quality players in our league that have a chance to play professionally that maybe return to the league. There's a lot of players that are going back to their respective clubs trying to earn spots. So we'll see. If we got a chance to improve our hockey club, we will, but we're certainly not going to force the issue at the start of the season to create a splash.
All right. Thank you very much, James.
Thanks, Aly.